Hi, my friends and family. I'm Trey, and this is my channel, Trey's Myths and Tunes on Odyssey, YouTube. And today, first I have to say, wow, what a glorious and amazing time to be alive in the timeless now. In the supposed year, 2023 years after Yeshua's birth, and while the planet and some of it is, and some of humanity is going through ascension, and some of it is rapidly falling. And some of us, unfortunately, have to see both of those playing out within our subconscious. And that's what today's episode is about. In fact, this computer just fell on the well padded earth, probably the third or fourth time it fell on the surface and not been harmed. It's thank God. It's such a thank you, ASUS. Sussa, they do a great job for low end computers. So my talk today is called my sermon, um, and in the middle of this, I have to say I'm experiencing, perhaps for one of the first times in a long time, a mostly unengineered day. Of course, that means when the sky's blue, actual perfect weather, 75 degrees, balmy, sweet. So today my talk's called I Am That, and when reaching pushes anxiety, desire, change, and manifesting in faith. Danger, I was told to expect it. I begin my descent down the cold granite steps. And while the plane is circling and recording, I think that I know what I haven't known yet. 'Cause a week is a month and an hour's a day. When you're reaching, just pushes it further away now. With your past and your future precisely divided at that moment. I haven't decided. Haven't decided. First of all, I have to admit, at times I've suffered from a grave laziness in this whole battle by, and as many of my close friends and blood kins will do, is to pretend that it doesn't exist, that it was always my thoughts. And so anxiety is spiritual laziness, really, each and every time. It's hard to admit, but it's probably true. And what if the reality I think I know here in, say, Santa Cruz, California, for example, what if the what if I take for what if I take for granted the invisible limitations from the Star Trekian alien mind meld with the Zeta and other beings, interdimensional, evil species that actually, that is called Loosh. They feed off your anxiety. And again, if you travel to other states or counties, for example, and you live in a heavy, you live in a multi-metropolitan region or a larger city or town, you'll notice the energy is different. So the saying "I am that" it comes from Sri Nisargadatta, who was a guru in India, and he was very into non-duality. Like he taught ways to the fifth dimension, I think, and through non-duality. He would say there is no such thing as you. I mean, he was kind of a radical on that. So the second part comes from the song I was singing there. It's from the band Phish, Phish, called Julius. And I think Anastasio paints a good picture with that of what I'm talking about here. So when you want something, the energy is basically the whatever situation, or if it's a person, or a mate, a sexual partner, a wife, or husband, or a job, a town, or whatever. If you want it, the more you want it, it's your desire actually pushes it away. So this is why I've said, and I've told you the secret in the past transmissions, is to pretend that you already have it, right? But as long as you want. So, for example, right now I'm getting ready to prepare to do some things and to make changes, and I just noticed how my habits, how the dark side can actually make me forget the key things that I want to do to make the changes. Again, so I'm not saying I'm 100% clear of this stuff, so it's risky. You know, my friend I was talking to yesterday said that it's dangerous to upload on YouTube. Well, yes, it is, because I'm dealing directly, interfacing directly with telling the whole world the truth and the dark side and their infiltration. So, but the thing I'm saying here is that wanting is improper for creation. Okay, when you want something, it's basically my friend Jai Dev Singh told me long ago. He said, "Worrying is praying for what you don't want." So, desire, however, is a core element for creation, right? If you don't want something or if you don't desire something, you won't create it. However, if you're controlled or conditioned by your wanting and not receiving the unconditional love, Eve Lorgan and others have proven that the dark and the grays, they really feed off that energy and they love it. So the key of the manifestation is the visioning, to see yourself in the new situation and the desired change, to feel what it would be like as if it is already occurring. As I've said in other videos, I am that, Nisargadatta says. When your reality, when you're reaching, just pushes it further away now, okay? With women in my past as a young youth, triple Sagittarius, so forth, they said I wore my heart on my sleeve as a young man, and of course this is the exact same principle as why in most of these situations is it turned off the mate, because they could see my heart beating on my sleeve and it was kind of gross, you know. So um, however, even as a junior high schooler, I used this formula of pretending this girl was already my girlfriend to make her into my girlfriend. So, and I had already, you know, I was experiencing the blocking that the desire causes. So, the hologramic inserts are programmed into the negative ego functions. I was studying some Lisa Renee's stuff today. That's what she said. Programmed into the negative ego functions. In other words, your separate selves. This is my interpretation. Your separate self survival mode, control over the environment, etc. Your goals. Since the dawn of time, the negative aliens have had a project. They've projected programmed mental holograms to manipulate historical events using hidden fears, changing. Changing your routines um, with without facing your hidden fears and changing your routines, you essentially can be blocked by habits and survival until you face the obstacles, and it's hard for a lot of us sometimes. My Chiron line runs right through Capitola, where I've been hanging out, and it's really given me compassion. Also, coming to Santa Cruz when the sun was in a huge, heavy rainstorm almost 20 years ago, and the moon was in Taurus, it really gives me compassion for the fixed zodiac signs, because I don't have one minor aspect of my natural chart. So, because it's really hard to change, especially if you're spoiled, you know. So, you got to whip your own ass, like be your own Gur chief. So anxiety and inserts scream in your head all that can go wrong through habits and time or duration or amount of daylight hours you have, whatever extra daylight time you have when you get off work, for example. You through these limitations, they will project failure into your thoughts. You forget to take that huge step you want to change as the anxiety is amplified and beamed in, and the former narcissistic abuse is beamed into your memory. It can cause more social timidity. This has happened to me so many times I can't count them. When I was going to plan to leave Santa Cruz, And so, when I talk about this, it's not that I'm not telling you I'm 100% done with the shadow work, but I'm more clear of it than a lot of people. And a lot of people, they just walk around and let these beings tell them what they feel, and it's really sad. So this is why I want to bring awareness to clear it out, because knowledge is power. So the dark's biggest tools in this are distraction and the social rules and the dogma and the limits and the rent, etc. So just say no to excuses in this, okay? If you really want to do it, anything. Remember, always know that the negative aliens, when you try to, they think of your fake ID as food, okay? Anxiety, worries, or fear is an, if you desire something, anxiety, worries, and fear is an attack. If you desire something, say, I am that. No, it's a block. No, it's on the right. Anxieties, worries, and fears are a block. If you desire something, say, I am that. And harmlessly, you can manifest it if you're harmless about it. Knowing full well the dark side will pull all the stops to prevent your positive change, your evolution, your awareness, and keep you stuck in the trauma bonding. And they'll pull all the stops to prevent the positive change, evolution, awareness, and healing through trauma bonding and together healing, trauma bonding, and togetherness. Go for it with your full faith in the real Christ within you, the respectful, harmless, original Creator. For example, you adamantly do all the things that take the steps to improve, noticing the strong interferences, controls, and fears and attempted anxiety attacks, and remembering faith, pass through the dark tunnel and do it anyway. Remember, you must want to change and leave more. You want to change and leave more than to rot and stagnate and stay stuck, or you'll fall back into habit. Do the shadow work, and you'll see through all of this. Seriously, if I'm a hypocrite, do as I say and not as I do, or just talk a good talk and talk a good game and can't practice it, I'm just another hypocritical preacher. Okay, well, it still doesn't mean it's a bad idea. Disassociation from amped fears is the number one biggest key factor. The number two is you must maintain a constant, clear, steadfast faith in the true, respectful Creator within the gnosis and enjoy the transformation, my family. Because only you can prevent the forest fires in your brain and mind from erupting in your third eye. And perhaps you can, if you took the crazy experiment, you can influence it not to take over through the power of the heart, which is stronger than anything artificial intelligence could ever do, because they have no heart. And this is a sign I made for the protests my guides prevented me from going to, and a message or a warning for all the people cashing in on the system in California, that you got about a decade more to cash in off the bloodthirsty draconian system before it's going to get shoved back down the drain where it belongs. Just like all the things that the Dark Ones, the Dracos, the Anunnaki, and all the disrespectful fake overlords brought to this planet. The snake is the base chakra. It's not the brain. As long as you allow the mainstream media or the manipulation of the college university system, or you believe the allopathic, then, that caduceus is being used to strangle you eventually, instead of the Kundalini enlightenment, which is what I'm about. So, if you have the courage, create a great one, my family, and understand the power of creation. If you're harmless and respectful and you have discernment, is in your hands. And know that when you want something, be it a relationship or a situation, not only does it push it away or scare it away energetically, you're focusing on the obstacles, okay? Realize you are the I am Almighty working through a fleshy clay suit, and create a great one if you have the courage. If you haven't already, click the subscribe button and the notification bell and make your day wonderful. Blessings.